I hated Brett. I mean, I hated Austin as a kid because I was a Brett guy. And when he hit Brett and made him lose the title to, was that, Sid, I was like, fuck you, Austin. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Chaos Reborn back in the building, and we're checking out wrestling content. Today we got 23 minutes of WWE Mandela effects. I don't know what to expect from this. There's some Mandela effects I'm trying to remember, because I remember hearing some before, but I can't think of them at the moment. I'm sure they'll pop up in the video, but that's what it's about. But yeah, man, I just want to get into this. I saw the Green Kane thing on the thumbnail. I doubt that's what it is though, because I really don't remember a Green Kane outfit. So, maybe when he was with Hurricane or something, but I still doubt that as well. Either way, I don't know. So let's just start. So before I get into it, like, subscribe to the bell notification, join the squad, baby. That said, I'm changing scenes so I don't mess up like last time, and let's get to it.
Have you ever been 100% sure something happened in WWE only to find out it never did? Or maybe a moment you swore looked different just doesn't match the same footage anymore? Well, that's the Mandela effect at work, when entire groups of people remember something one way, but reality
that table
says
just would
otherwise.
not break.
In this video, we're going to look at WWE Mandela effects that will make you question your
Harley
wrestling memory. So get ready, because nothing in WWE is ever quite what it seems.
Figure out the hard way that the bloodline is stronger than the club.
Most fans associate
Bloodline.
the Bloodline with Roman Reigns and his heel turn in 2020, the moment that he reinvented himself and aligned with the Usos to dominate WWE. Some people even believe the name was coined by wrestling fans online long before the turn actually happened. There's even fans who believe that WWE took the idea from Reddit. But here's the twist. That faction name, it's not new. It's been around since at least 2016. Right after WrestleMania 32, Roman Reigns entered a feud with AJ Styles, and that rivalry quickly escalated into a full-blown faction war, and Styles brought in Gallows and Anderson, his Bullet Club backup, while Roman got support from the Usos. During this time, the WWE didn't
they look so different
together. They explicitly marketed the trio as the Bloodline on TV and social media.
That the bloodline is stronger.
The three were also featured again in late 2019, reinforcing the idea that the family unit and the name were already in motion well before the Tribal Chief era ever began. So no, the Bloodline,
I don't want to say it's a Mandela effect thing because I don't remember any of it anyway. So,
name, it really began in 2016,
but it is interesting to know that they came about
really
a minute ago.
Fans have been butchering Mr. Perfect's name for decades. Let's
Hennig.
this up once and for all. His name was Kurt Hennig, not Henning. Kurt Hennig made his
But what's crazy, there are games that has him in there as Kurt Hennig. So it's like we were already confused, or some people were already confused. But there's some games I feel like No Mercy had him in there as Kurt Hennig, but his name is Hennig.
WWE debut back in January 1982, and later was known as Mr. Perfect. But for some reason, an overwhelming number of fans, and even wrestlers and commentators, have spent years mispronouncing and misspelling his last name.
That boy, that catch was perfect.
Slip of the tongue or just a collective confusion, Kurt Hennig somehow became a widely accepted version of his name, despite it being completely wrong. It's one of the most persistent Mandela effects in wrestling, and it's perfectly incorrect. His name is truly Kurt Hennig, not Henning. A super kick through the window, not quite. It's one of the most shocking betrayals in WWE history.
And then he threw him through the window.
Exploded on the Barber Shop, and many fans remember Shawn Michaels delivering that infamous super kick to Marty Jannetty, and that sent him crashing.
Because he went down, and then he wham bam.
But here's the thing, that's not what happened. Yes, Michaels did hit the super kick, but Jannetty did not go flying through the window because of it. Shawn actually threw him through the glass afterwards, and over time,
I didn't know that was a Mandela effect thing.
Have been merged in the minds of fans, turning a two-step assault into one.
But I always knew that's what it was.
It's still iconic. It's just not exactly how you remember it. And while we're clearing things up, let's talk about the commentary of this moment. Right after the betrayal, Bobby Heenan famously joked, saying that Jannetty tried to dive through the window to escape.
Jannetty tried to dive through the window.
And that is when Gorilla Monsoon fired back instantly with the line saying, "Are you blind?"
Are you blind?
Are you blind?
But some fans swear they remember Monsoon yelling, "Will you stop?" which was his trademark phrase. That line was a Monsoon classic, but it's not the one that he used in this scenario. This is just another moment where the memory doesn't quite match the footage,
Got
but
a whole
it still
position
lives
named after
rent-free
him.
in wrestling history. Kane had one of the most unforgettable debuts in WWE history. It was Bad Blood in Your House in 1997. The lights
remember
dropped,
that night, boy.
the organs hit, and out walks a mask.
Shout out to Art Robinson, man. He was like a mentor / like father figure when we were young, me and the guys. And we didn't have pay-per-view. We couldn't get the pay-per-view, and we wanted to go. He was going to order it, and we wanted to go to his house to watch, but we couldn't. It was just like, because it was Sunday. He got school the next morning. So he recorded it and gave us the VHS, and we was able to watch the pay-per-view. And, shout out to Art, man. We miss you, man. But shout out.
Monster led by Paul Bearer standing face to face with The Undertaker during the first ever Hell in a Cell match. And that's when you heard this.
That's gotta be Kane.
That's gotta be Kane.
You can hear it in your head, right? Most fans would swear that the iconic call came from Jim Ross, who was the voice of so many legendary moments. But here's the twist. This one was not JR, it was actually Vince
Was it
McMahon.
VK? Yeah, it was VK.
That's gotta be Kane. That's gotta be Kane.
It don't even sound like
In the
Jim.
final stretch of his time as a full-time commentator, McMahon was the one who shouted out that spine-tingling line as Kane ripped the cell door off his hinges. It's one of those moments where the memory has been rewritten by years of association. We expect JR to be the one behind the call, so our brains just fill in the blank. But give credit where it's due. Vince absolutely nailed that delivery of that
What about
line.
Kane,
and a legend
the
was
Undertaker?
born. Speaking of
about
Kane,
that?
what's the deal with the green gear? Turns out it never existed.
Okay.
For years, a strange photo has made the rounds online. Kane supposedly was wearing green gear during his tag team run with X-Pac.
Okay, because I'm sure, I don't remember that. And that's why I say the only time I would think it would happen is when he was with him.
It never happened.
But,
Kane
yeah, I
himself
don't
shut
remember
down
ever
the
seeing
rumor
that.
during an appearance on the October 19th episode of WWE's The Bump, where he made it crystal clear.
There is no green gear. There was never going to be any green gear, and there never will be green gear. Kane's red and black all the way, man. That's one of those deals that that sparked on the internet, and that's the first time I'd ever seen it was when people started talking about Green Kane, like, part of DX, and I'm going,
He
yeah,
was like, when did I do that?
To my knowledge, that was never even discussed.
According to the Big Red Machine, the iconic red and black look was the one non-negotiable aspect of his character, and any green renderings out there are simply fan-made edits or Photoshops gone viral. It's a textbook Mandela effect, a false...
I still remember when I had, I don't know if I think Kane's toy may have just come out back when they had the little wrestling figures, and I had like Undertaker, Shawn, Brett. Like I was like the first of my friend group to get those wrestling figures in the ring and stuff. And then we all started collecting from there. But there was Undertaker. I had an Undertaker, but at the time I don't know if Kane's figure had just come out or it hadn't come out yet. Whatever it was, I took my Undertaker figure and I got, the white it's like medical tape or whatever. I got that and I wrapped it around the whole toy, like the legs, hands, feet, everything. And I got a marker and I started painting. I started coloring stuff in. I colored the face. I put a piece over the face. I colored the face in and everything. And when the guys came over, we were like, 12, 13 or something like that. I'm up at the top of my staircase and they're at the bottom. And I was like, hey, look. Boom. And they was like, oh, you got the Kane, you got Kane. They rushed up the stairs. I run up the other flight of stairs and I'm running away from them so they couldn't actually see that it was just a painted Undertaker figure. But when they finally got to like actually sit and see it, they was like, man, you play too much, man. I thought you had Kane. Man. I would tell that story and I bet my boys really wouldn't even remember that. But I just remember the most random stuff. Like anyone who knows me know that my memory of like 20, 30, 40 years ago, well not 40, but 20, 30, 35 years ago, like I can remember that. Ask me something about last weekend and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. But man, that was a good time, man. Good times. Good
memory
times.
repeated so many times that it became real, but this one came straight from the source and he's not seeing green. Chris Jericho's Millennium Countdown wasn't as long
remember.
as you think. Y2J's arrival in WWE is remembered as one of the most hyped debuts of the Attitude Eras. As the lights dimmed, a mysterious countdown hit 0, and out comes Chris Jericho, who interrupted none other than The Rock. It was the kind of entrance that instantly stamped Jericho as a big deal. Many fans believe this countdown to Millennium lasted for months or years, when in reality it only ran for 6 weeks. The clock first appeared on the June 20th episode of Raw in 1999, and Jericho made his debut exactly 6 weeks later on August 9th. That's it. No multiple months long buildup, no slow burn mystery, just a 6-week tease that stuck in our minds like it lasted a lifetime. So why do fans...
But see, at the time, we didn't have the internet. So it was, I don't know, things were just so different back in that time. Because the internet just spoils everything. The internet would be like, you got 3 days until he debuts. But back in the day, we didn't have that like that. So, and the excitement was all there. So maybe it just, it just felt like it was so much longer than it actually was. But it was, it was just a different time.
It's simple.
The time they put up there.
Countdown gimmick multiple times over the years, whether it was his original debut,
Save us,
one of his dramatic
Y2J.
returns, or even a few trolling countdowns that led to nothing. The countdown to Y2J became part of his brand, and like a lot of good branding, it blurred the lines between memory and reality. It's just another case where the clock ran shorter than our nostalgia says it did. Do you remember CM Punk's promise to bring back the ice cream bars? Well, they actually never came back, at least not during the summer of Punk. It was 2011, and CM Punk was at the top of the wrestling world.
They didn't come back to
with
AEW.
on him, and we got the magical pipe bomb. That would later turn into the infamous walkout with the WWE Championship at Money in the Bank. During the storyline, Punk had a very specific list of demands to Vince McMahon, and one of them was the return of WWE's classic 1980s ice cream bar.
I know a lot of people disagree with me, but outside of the pipe bomb, and it was one segment with Hunter, one segment with Vince, and one segment with Cena. Outside of those 4, I never really found Punk all that entertaining. Like, I don't think he's a good wrestler. And don't get me wrong, he's good on the mic. I won't take that away from him. But outside like 4, maybe 5 segments, never really cared for him.
Over the years, fans have sworn that WWE actually brought them back as part
those
of
was
the
good as hell
storyline.
as a kid.
They didn't. Sure, there was a T-shirt with the classic bar
You
design.
become
and yes,
the
WWE
New York Yankees.
eventually released
Swing
a
on.
new ice cream sandwich years later, but that came and went quickly, long after Punk was gone. This is where things get a little fuzzy, because the real ice cream bars made their return in 2021, and that wasn't even in WWE. They came back during Punk's AEW debut in Chicago, when he treated fans to actual CM Punk themed bars from a local vendor. That moment was so perfect, so poetic, that it retroactively convinced people it happened before. But the truth is, during the summer of Punk in 2011, the only thing cool was CM Punk himself. The ice cream, on the other hand, just didn't happen. Did you know that Hulk Hogan was not the first person to body slam Andre the Giant?
Sure wasn't.
That's just a myth that the fans and Vince McMahon created around the WrestleMania.
Harley did it.
Hulk Hogan's body slam of Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3.
And it wasn't even the first time he slammed him at WrestleMania.
Wrestling history, but it's also become the foundation of a popular myth. For years, fans believed that Hogan was the first ever person to body slam the 8th wonder of the world during the
probably gonna be Antonio Inoki or something
showdown. However, that's simply not true. Before Hogan's famous slam, wrestlers like Harley
John
Race
Studd
and
or something, or
Stan
Stan
had
Hansen
already pulled off that feat. In fact, Hogan himself had body slammed Andre the Giant 7 years earlier in 1980. So while the moment at Mania 3 was historic, it wasn't the first time the massive Andre had been slammed.
He might have been at his heaviest at that
You're not
time.
the only one who remembers it differently. For decades, WWE's towering steel structure has been known as Hell in a Cell, but for some
Hell in
fans,
the
that's
Cell.
not how they remember it. Instead, they swear it was the Hell in the Cell. It's a subtle difference. It's just
HIAC.
one little word, but it's been enough to spark one of wrestling's most persistent Mandela effects. So what's the truth? Officially, the match has always been known as the Hell in a Cell. That's how it appears on pay-per-view posters.
But what was it called at Bad Blood?
Almost without exception. Almost. Back in 2000, during the build-up to the legendary 6-man Armageddon Hell in a Cell match, WWE actually did call it Hell in the Cell in promotional material and hype
Armageddon
packages.
match.
it was a rare moment where the company tweaked the phrasing, and that single deviation was enough to leave a permanent imprint on the memories of fans. So if you've ever second-guessed yourself thinking, wait, wasn't it Hell in the Cell? Now you know why. It wasn't a dream. It was WWE doing it for one night only. In 2005, Muhammad Hassan was at the center of one of WWE's...
Bruh, Muhammad Hassan was so good. Like, they really dropped the ball with that. They let that BS with, like, you know, the whole World Trade thing happening affect him. The man's not even Middle Eastern. Like, like he's... Come on, y'all. It's crazy that they killed his whole character off and he just stopped wrestling altogether over something that didn't even have anything to do with him in the slightest. It's crazy, man.
During an episode of SmackDown, Hassan summoned a group of masked men in balaclavas to
and he Italian from Detroit or something like that.
That aired on the same day as the London bombings and the time.
Oh, the London bombing, not the 9/11. Yeah.
The WWE was met with immediate backlash. But here's the Mandela effect of that angle. Many fans recall the attackers carrying Hassan's lifeless body backstage. In reality, it was Sean Davari, his manager, who was dragged.
I didn't even remember that part.
Hassan.
I mean, that was 20-something years ago.
A widely misremembered moment, proving that sometimes even the darkest angles get distorted in the fog.
Breaks, I'll take a punk ass.
We got to talk about The Rock's custom Brahma Bull belt that was never
used don't exist
on WWE TV. For years, fans have sworn that The Rock once carried a custom Brahma Bull.
And I think Austin's only came around like once.
Just like how Stone Cold had his iconic Smoking Skull belt. It's easy to see why. The design is well known online, and the WWE shop even sold replicas, and it just feels like something that would have happened during the Attitude Era. But in reality, The Rock's custom belt never actually made it to television. The WWE did design and commission it, but the plan was scrapped before it even showed up on screen. So while The Rock did recently carry the championship in 2024, the Brahma Bull Championship belt remains one of the coolest designs that was never officially introduced on WWE programming. It's a classic case of our brains filling in the blanks.
It seems like I remember a lot of things right away.
Did you know the Clique was never an on-screen group? The faction was exclusive to behind the scenes.
They only had that one curtain call.
Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and X-Pac is legendary for their backstage. Triple H, Kevin Nash.
Oh, that's Triple H over there. I'm like, who the hell is that?
Scott Hall and X-Pac is legendary for their backstage influence and, of course, the infamous curtain call.
That's why the BSK exists.
Garden live event in 1996.
To keep the Clique in check.
Despite their strong bond, there was never an on-screen group. Fans may recall seeing them together in various factions like D-Generation X or the NWO, but the Clique never officially appeared in a cohesive unit on WWE TV. This misremembering likely stems from WWE documentaries and retrospectives that highlight their backstage influence, which may have shaped fans' perceptions of the group as being more prominent on screen than they actually were. Let's talk about one of the biggest myths in WWE history, and no, it's not a misremembered move or logo. It's the idea that Stone Cold Steve Austin said Austin 316 at the King of the Ring 1996 pay-per-view and immediately became the hottest superstar in the company.
Oh, okay.
You've heard the story a million times, right?
I'm gonna say he didn't immediately do it, but I was gonna say, wait, he did say that.
Arenas, and boom, the Attitude Era is born. Legendary stuff. But that's not.
That didn't happen till later on in his Brett match.
The real story is way more of a slow burn than you remember. After King of the Ring, Austin didn't exactly shoot to the top. For most of the summer of '96, he was still floating around the mid-card. He wrestled Mark Mero at Fully Loaded.
Mark,
wasn't even on the summer
another impressive
and wasn't a huge presence at the fall
shooting star
either. What's even crazier is the fact that he was still getting booed on TV, including the night after King of the Ring.
I hated Brett. I mean, I hated Austin as a kid because I was a Brett guy, and when he hit Brett and made him lose the title to See It, I was like, fuck you, Austin.
When he faced The Undertaker, Austin didn't even have the iconic Glass Shatter entrance theme yet. Things didn't really heat up until Bret Hart returned at Survivor Series, and Austin finally got that kind of spotlight that he needed to show when he
Mania came around.
The 1997 Royal Rumble was a turning point, and by WrestleMania
never beat
13, Bret. He was off to the races, but that took many months, even though people think it only took a couple weeks. Look, it's just one of those moments where WWE's version of history sounds cleaner, cooler and more cinematic than what actually happened. And that's where
Grass,
the Mandela
glass
effect
all
creeps
didn't
in.
shatter.
Because if you ask most fans, they'll swear they remember Crouch chanting Austin 316 the very next night. But the truth is, that legend took time to build. A lot of fans recall a bizarre match between The Rock and the British Bulldog in a dog poop match from the Attitude Era. It sounds wild,
I don't
right?
remember that.
Well, that match actually never took place. The confusion likely comes from their singles match that took place on October 4th, 1999 on an episode of Raw.
Wasn't
The
a great match
ended
either,
in a no
but
contest with a rock bottom to the British Bulldog and a pile of dog feces, which led to many fans mistakenly remembering it as a dog poop match. The event was simply a
I forgot
moment
about
of
that.
humiliation in their feud, not a full-fledged match that centered around dog poop. So no.
First
there
off,
no
if that was
dog poop
actually
match.
dog
It
poop,
was just your
you
classic
would not have
Attitude
picked that
Era
up like that and
chaos.
just
One of
carried
the
it with
biggest
that.
Mandela
Would have
effects in
sunk
wrestling
so
history
bad.
involves Kurt Angle and his finishers. For years, fans have believed that a submission finisher was called the Angle Lock. It just sounds right. It's clever, it fits his name, and it feels exactly like the
It's
kind of
not called the
branding
Angle Lock?
WWE
Is it
would
just
use,
Angle Lock?
But it never was. The move is and always has been the Ankle Lock. Yep, just ankle, not angle.
Angle
No
slam and ankle
no
lock.
angle twist, and it turns out there's a reason for that. Kurt Angle actually addressed this directly, putting the debate to rest once and for all.
Settle an old debate. I feel like fans online argue this sometimes. Did you call it the ankle lock or the angle lock?
The fans would call it the angle lock.
I see.
I call it the ankle lock because I didn't want to take away from Ken Shamrock.
Ah.
The word he used was ankle. I wanted to continue with that out of respect for Ken.
Nice.
So while it might have felt like WWE called it the Angle Lock during your childhood,
I do kind of remember it being
playing tricks on
angle.
You. It's just
But it just sounds the same.
Example of
You know,
Mandela
angle,
effect.
ankle.
You'd probably bet your milk money
Yeah.
on it, but nope. It's just the Angle Lock. Still brutal, still iconic, just not as punny as we thought. Almost everyone is convinced that Sheamus, X-Pac, and Hardcore Holly all held the Intercontinental Championship.
Shambo
but in
didn't.
reality, none of them did. Hardcore
They
Holly
didn't.
had a memorable moment in 1995 when he almost
X-Pac
won
didn't.
the IC title from Jeff Jarrett, but it was overturned due to a rope break, and the title was never his. Sheamus, despite his success in WWE,
That boy
never won
Shambo.
the IC title, despite his
Just
focus
get a man
on
the damn
enhancing
IC title
his
so he can
career,
go on
and
about his
now he
business.
jokes about it
Stop
being
playing with him.
curse. And then you've got X-Pac, who had a decorated career.
Hey,
decorated
that was such a
career,
great
however,
match,
does not
man.
include the IC belts. So why do fans remember them as IC champs? It's likely because of their prominent feuds for the title or moments where they held the belt high, showing off to the crowd like they were gonna be next in line. Despite that, they never actually captured it. Jake the Snake Roberts is often remembered as one of the most captivating.
How do you
figures
not put the
in
world
wrestling
title on that
history.
man,
His
man?
psychological storytelling, the chilling presence of his snake, and the invention of the DDT made him a standout star. Despite his immense popularity and influence, Roberts never held the WWE Championship or any title in the company for that matter. The absence of gold is surprising to many fans, leading to a collective misremembering that he must have been a champion at some point in the WWE. After all, how could someone so important to the wrestling landscape
It's crazy,
not hold
man.
a top title? The confusion is understandable, especially considering that Roberts was once slated to feud with Hulk Hogan for the WWE Championship. However, when fans began cheering Jake over Hogan, that is when the storyline was abruptly dropped to maintain Hogan's
crazy, ain't
hero
it?
status.
That's
Roberts
crazy.
himself has addressed this, stating that he didn't need a championship to validate his career. He believed his character and storytelling were compelling enough without
It was,
the
but
belt.
he still should have gotten
A lot
that.
of fans how Rey Mysterio won the WWE Championship in 2011. They'll confidently tell you it was a grueling one-night tournament and that Rey Mysterio beat multiple top guys, climbed the mountain, and then tragically lost it to John Cena on the same
Was it a
night,
multi-night
right?
tournament or something?
Well, not exactly. In reality, the tournament to crown a new WWE champion after CM Punk left, the title stretched over 2 weeks, not just one night. Most of the matches did happen on a single episode.
I just
of Raw,
remember him
but
winning the
final,
tournament. I don't
Rey
remember
Mysterio versus The Miz
how it was.
opened up the
I wouldn't
next
say it
week's
was one
Raw.
night or what.
And
But
yes, that's the same
I just
night
remember
that
him winning the
John Cena
tournament.
would beat Rey. Later in the main event, followed by CM Punk's shocking return with his own WWE title. It's easy to misremember this one, but technically, Rey didn't run the table in one night, even if it totally felt like he did as a kid. Next, we have to talk about the Ultimate Warrior and his tattoo, but not just any tattoo, a tattoo of himself. Yep, you read that right. On his bicep,
mask?
the Warrior had an image of himself. Now you might be thinking, wait, what? I don't remember that at all. And honestly, you're not alone. It's one of those strange details that seem to slip through the cracks of memory.
I don't remember
photos
that.
of Warrior don't exactly zoom in on his arm, so we never really got a full view of his
I don't remember that at all.
tattoo. It's like a piece of the puzzle that wasn't in the picture, even though it was there the whole time. However,
Maybe because
if
of
you
the
take a
tassel and
deeper dive
everything.
now, you'll find rare photos on www.com that prove it's real. For many of us, this tattoo is just another quirky part
Nah,
of
man.
Warrior's already larger-than-life personality that somehow got lost.
Nah,
in the
that's a
shuffle.
glitch in the
A
code.
tattoo
They
himself
just
is a
updated
classic
that.
Warrior move, to be honest. X-Pac's theme song didn't start off the way that you think it did. There are few WWE entrance themes
X-Pac.
as unforgettable as the classic DX anthem, and when it came to X-Pac, he had his own spin on it. Most fans swear that his theme song started with him screaming X-Pac as he hit the stage.
What'd he do?
Him screaming X-Pac as he hit the stage.
Somebody else screamed it?
But that's not actually true. The real intro is just a loud make some noise, which is also the name of his song.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I know I remember hearing X-Pac,
X-Pac
but I remember to make
shouted
the
a
noise
second
part.
later, but that false memory of it being the very first word has stuck in fans' minds over the
Okay,
years.
I remember to make the
Did you know
noise part.
DX actually didn't ride a tank, even though we all thought they did? It was one of the most legendary moments in wrestling history. D-Generation X
It was a
invaded
truck, talking about WCW,
Monday Nitro
or a Jeep
while
or whatever.
rolling up in a tank. Except they didn't. Yeah, it turns out that mental image we all have of Triple H and the gang rolling deep in military hardware is just a bit
Yeah.
off. In reality, it was just a Jeep with a turret
Who remember being
on
a
top,
tank?
not exactly battlefield ready. Still, the side profile kind of fooled us, and the chaos they caused made it feel way bigger than it was. So yeah, DX didn't ride a tank, but it felt like they did, and that's why the Mandela effect lives on. Goldberg's stiff kick to Bret Hart in Starrcade 1999 is often
Fuck
blamed
Goldberg.
for ending the Hitman's career. That much is true, but what
But
isn't
didn't he
true
wrestle like a
is that
couple
the King
times
gave
after
Bret Hart
that?
his stroke. In reality, Bret
And then it
suffered
was
the
just
stroke
like, all right,
years later
bruh, it's over
in
with.
2002 after a bike accident. He hit a pothole, was thrown off of the bicycle, and landed hard on the back of his head. The injury was severe, but it was completely unrelated to Goldberg's infamous kick. So while that kick did retire Bret from wrestling, it did not cause the stroke, even if a lot of us over the years thought it did. Long before Kane emerged as the Undertaker's storyline brother, the name Kane was briefly
Kane,
associated
the
with
Undertaker. I
himself.
knew that was
In
gonna go in
his
there.
early WWE run, the Undertaker was known as Kane the Undertaker. The name was short-lived, appearing in only a couple segments before being dropped. The decision to remove Kane from his name was likely made to streamline his persona,
These
allowing
spiders crawling
the
down from my
Undertaker to
ceiling
stand
fan.
alone as a more impactful identity. Years later, the name Kane was repurposed for The Undertaker's
What, his
on-screen
brother?
brother, adding a layer of continuity to WWE storytelling. So if you recall seeing or hearing Kane the Undertaker, you're not imagining things. It was a brief.
Hey, man,
but
look like
real
I remember a
part
lot of stuff,
wrestling
man.
History. Anyways, that is it for the video, guys. Thank you so much
I
for
remember
watching.
that.
I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. And here are some other videos I think you might enjoy.
Man, like a lot of those I remember, but there was a handful of them that I didn't. But like the Kane the Undertaker thing and stuff like that, I remember those. But man, who I never seen the green suit thing. I don't know when that became a thing. With the advent of the internet, a lot of stuff started just popping up like, oh yeah, y'all remember this? And it's like, nah. And it's just somebody who put something on the internet and it got posted and it got, pushed around the world and everybody like, yeah, I remember that. And it's like, it never happened though, so you don't remember it. Liar. But yeah, man, a lot of these, like I said, I already knew. I guess, Mandela effect didn't affect me when it comes to the wrestling stuff as much. There's a handful of things I don't remember. Like that tattoo, Ultimate Warrior, that don't exist. Y'all lying to me. Like, Anybody say they did exist, you lying to me too. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, that was nice though. I like getting to the rest of the stuff because, you know, getting back into some of the old stuff, you know, because you misremember some things and it's just, you know, nostalgia, you know, makes you feel good on the inside. You know, you just get to explore old stuff. So that's why I like doing these wrestling videos. Yeah, man, I'm enjoying it. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and I will see all y'all crazy ass wrestling fans next time. Peace.